Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'm supposed to not say good afternoon and make everything confusing. I got some comments. I'm not going to say who, which person was kind of laughing at my introduction last week. I'm not going to say who it is. I'll just say that their house is literally behind there on Pine Street. I'm not going to say who it is, obviously, in Woodmere. A lot of interesting things to talk about. It's right before Tisha B'Av. It's also Erev Shabbos, Parshas Devarim. It's an interesting thought that Sfas Emes brings down. Kol darshena nivna b'yamav, kil nechra b'yamav. So, how does that mean? Every generation they would have had a destruction of the base of Mikdash. So it's a little bit difficult to understand. Does that mean every generation is just horrible since the base of Mikdash? How to understand this? And Sfas Emes says, listen, every generation kind of combines really with each other, and the schusim pile up. And each generation, every generation fixes a little piece, and every person, befrat, fixes a little piece, whether it's they do chesed and puts a brick on the base of the Mikdash, or whether it's a rock here, or a little piece here, it all joins up. This is why we say Bonei Rak Yerushalayim, Bonei Yerushalayim. It's Lashon Hova, it's present. It's something that hopefully we are currently doing. We don't see the completion of it, unfortunately, yet. But every day, every hour, every generation, it's in the process of being rebuilt. And one of the commentaries, the Avodas Yisrael, brings down a Gemara, which actually I saw this morning. It actually does exist. In Baba Basra, Ayin Hey Amin Aleph, it's a story where Rabbi Yochanan was talking to his students, and he's talking about the huge bricks, the huge stones that the Malachim are going to use to build the gates and the stones of the base of Mikdash, and the student really didn't believe it. How could you have sapphire and jewels and diamonds that are, large boards, large sizes? In this world, we see jewels that are the size of an ostrich egg, so small, a pearl. And one day the student was on a boat, and he actually saw Malachim, and he saw them building this. He had nevuah of some sort, and he said to Rabbi Yochanan, you are zochet to give shiurim, because I actually saw it, and you're telling the truth. And Yochanan got very upset and insulted at this, and he didn't believe me before. And he looked at him a certain way, and the student died, he passed away. Gemara. So we see that it's actually taking place, and a person, everything he does is building another stone, putting another rock together, and it's kind of, this is how we see the Nechama. We're actually going to see this because we're having it in generation now, which leads me to another point that my son and I, Moshe, we talk about this every once in a while. Not once in a while, every year, I guess once a year. In Nachem, we say in Mincha, we'll say, unfortunately, if Mashiach doesn't come by Sunday, we'll say Nachem. And we talked about the ear, Havela, Achareva, Abzuya, Shemema, mournful, ruined, scorned, desolate. And the question is this true? And it's a good question. Actually, 50 years ago or so, there was discussion to kind of maybe change the nusach of this Nachem, because you can look at Yerushalayim and see beautiful buildings going up all over Eretz Yisrael. We see here a rejuvenation. So the question is it still Chareva, still Bezuya? So the answer, at least what I said to him, is in some ways, yes, it's being rebuilt and it's beautiful and yeshiva is there, but unfortunately, it's not ideal. Without the base of Mikdash, without doing all 613 mitzvos, we can only do 50-60% of the mitzvos really without the base of Mikdash. We're not serving Hashem the proper way as best as we can, and that's the bezuya. So perhaps 364 days a year, it's fantastic and it's beautiful, but one day a year, it's just very sad that we look and we can't do the avoda, we can't serve Hashem the way we want. And that's kind of how, I guess, why we still have this nusach in the middle of Mincha of Nachem. The parsha also was interesting. I got some inspiration to look back at the Kli Yakar, Ben Paran Ben Tofel. Rashi has a pshat. Why has these cities, these places mentioned in the Midbar? And you think about it, we mentioned all these places last week's parsha. In Matos, mentioned 42 places, 42 places. Why is Moshe mentioning places again this week? And he's alluding to different places that did Averos. Param and Tofel, the Kli Yakar says the 3 weeks, Bain Param, Bain Tofel, is the 3 weeks of Shvasav Tammuz and Tisha B'Av. Paran and Tofel is Taflu Avodah Zarah, the Egel, and Paran was with the Luchos, with the Luchos. Tisha B'Av with Sinas Chinam, and Shvasav Tammuz, which was the breaking of the Luchos. And these two events, which really weren't 3 weeks apart, which are almost a year apart, these events resonate today. And the Tzvas Emes takes on that piece to talk about fixing these pieces. And while every generation, every person has the opportunity to do chesed and do good things to build a Beis Mikdash, unfortunately, it's every person to try to fix these things that cause the Churban. And while the breaking the Luchos started the trend, or started that the Yerushalayim be broken, and Tisha B'Av, when we had Sinas Chinam, sin against Hashem, which started Sinas Chinam thousands of years ago, which still resonate, it's on us to kind of try the best we can to fix these things. So while we are doing great things to kind of bring the Beis Mikdash and building rocks, we want to kind of also take on ourselves to kind of fix what was caused and what destruction that started then and which continues now. The sins of the past generations are still with us, unfortunately, and those are things that we have to try to fix today. So it's trying to build the Beis Mikdash, but also trying to eradicate and get rid of the things that caused the Beis Mikdash, b'mehera v'yameinu. And hopefully we don't have to fast on Sunday. Hopefully my kids will text me after Shabbos and say, you don't have to fast, don't worry about it. Hopefully Beis Mikdash will come. But if not, have a Tzom Kal, and God willing, we'll see the Beis Mikdash b'mehera v'yameinu. Shabbat Shalom from Woodmere.